welcome to Bayside's Cooking School. This morning we are doing chicken burrito year 8. Now I'm all ready to cook. I've got my apron on, I've washed my hands, I've tied my hair back, and I've got all of my things ready to go. So that's all of my utensils and all of my ingredients out. Because when you start cooking, you don't want to be stopping and starting all the time. All right, so we're going to start off with our vegetables for this dish, which we will slice our lettuce. So I have some lettuce here and we're just going to slice it finely using the rock of my knife and put it back on my plate. Okay. Now I'm going to make a little salsa to go on top of a little fresh salsa to go on top of our burrito. So I've got a quarter of a cucumber here, or a sixth of a large cucumber, and I'm going to dice it. Now the cucumber might roll away from you a little bit here, so if you like, you can always cut a teensy bit off, not wasting too much, so it doesn't roll away. Okay, it's up to you, and you can, that's just going to be waste to go in your compost. All right, so now I'm going to slice it in half, like this, lengthways, and then I'm going to dice it. Okay, so I'm going to make battens or matchsticks of my cucumber, and they should look about this length. So you want to get them all very similar size because you want your dice to be even. So now I'm going to cut the second part of my cucumber. Okay, so we've got a nice even slice there. Now I'm going to dice. Now you can put them together. To save time, you can put them together and you can use the rock of your knife to dice them. And once again, we're looking for nice even dice. Put these together again and then nice even dice. Okay, so that is my cucumber finished, and you can see a quarter or a sixth of a cucumber makes quite a lot. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in there. Now I'm going to dice the tomato. So I've got half a tomato here. Okay, so this is the fresh component of our burrito. I've taken the eye of my tomato out already because I don't want the eye of my tomato, that means where it was picked from the vine, in my nice salsa. And I've only got this much waste. Okay, so really you should be using the tip of your knife to get the eye of your tomato out with very little waste. Okay, now I'm going to do the same with my tomato. Remember, tomatoes are sometimes hard to cut, and that's why we have special tomato knives. But your chef's knife in your kitchen should get through a tomato. If it doesn't and it starts to smush it down, you might have to use a little bit more force. So I've done the same thing as I did with my cucumber. I've just sliced them evenly. Now I'm going to get a few of them together once again, and I'm going to slice them in half and make a dice. Okay, so I'm trying to get an even dice, the same as my cucumber, because we really want all of our salsa to be similar sized dice, because that makes it look more professional and it makes it eat well, as we say. Okay, so I'm going to dice this up. Right, and pop it in here as well. Now, we've got to finely slice an onion. You've got a sixth of a red onion or a Spanish onion, so that's a very little bit there. You've got to peel the skin off. Now, if you're making this for your whole family, you can use a whole tomato and a whole small cucumber and a whole onion. Okay, so I hope you make this for your family at home. Okay, I'm going to get the bottom of my onion off, and I'm going to dice it. Now it's going to be a little bit difficult to dice because it's in a sixth. So I'm just going to slice it. Okay, and then I'm just going to cross chop. Remember when we were cross chopping with your sausage rolls with the onion, mincing it, you can do that. Not as fine though, so you're just going to cross chop. Okay, it's going to give you a nice dice. It might not be super even, but we want smallish chunks because nobody wants a great big chunk of onion in their mouth. All right, and we'll pop that in there. Okay, now we're going to add our lime juice, which is going to brighten the whole thing up. All right, so I've got some lime juice from a bottle. You can just squeeze a little wedge of lime. You can use lemon if you don't have that at home. And I'm just going to use a teaspoon, I believe, of lime juice. Yes, it is. So that's 5 ml. All right, just a teaspoon in there. So that's not a lot. You don't need a lot because it's quite juicy already. You can imagine the cucumber's juicy, the tomato's juicy. And then I'm going to season it with salt and pepper because we always season our food. Okay, so just a pinch of salt and some pepper in there. All right, and I'm going to mix that around and I'm going to let that sit for a little while because then that'll let the flavours settle. The salt will do its work. It'll work its magic while it's sitting in there with the cucumber and the tomato. And we'll have a lovely fresh salsa to put on our burrito or tacos. So my lettuce is sliced, my salsa is made. Now we're going to do the chicken, and I'm doing the chicken second because I don't have to worry about cross-contamination. So you need 1 chicken thigh per person, just about, and then we're going to finely slice our chicken. So that just means thinly, okay? Finely means thinly. And you're going to hold it. Now it is going to be a little bit slimy and a little bit slippery and it will be a bit gross. But that's okay because it's our food. So you're just going to have to get used to handling those textures. Because remember, cooking is a sensory experience. We use all of it. We use our sight, we use our ears, we use our taste, we use our touch. Okay, I'm going to pop this in my bowl now because I'm going to marinate it. So what I'm going to quickly wash my hands before I touch anything else. Okay, my chicken is in there and I'm going to add some paprika. Now we've got beautiful smoked paprika here at school that we use and it's absolutely lovely. And you just need half a teaspoon of this. So I'll put in half a teaspoon. Okay. This stuff is good, and you know what, I might even season it a little bit too. Just a little bit of salt and pepper as well. I'm going to mix it around, and I'm also going to put my oil in here because that means I don't have to put my oil, it's a teaspoon of the oil, in this fry pan when I start to cook. Now I'm going to heat my fry pan up. Now I'm going to heat it on a medium heat. So if you have a gas mark oven at home, it'll probably be a 4 or a 5, maybe 6. If you have an induction, it's about a 7. And you've just got to leave it for a little while. If you have electric, you just put it on medium, okay? I'm just going to leave it a little while to heat up. And then I will show you what I want you to hear when we put our chicken on. And I will cook my chicken, and we'll probably cut the video while I cook my chicken until it's cooked, because you don't have to sit there and watch me frying.
Hi, Miss.
Hello.
I thought I'd come and join you and ask you a few questions as you're going.
Sure.
So salsa, we're talking about our salsa here, and you've got a nice fine dice in here. Why is it important to cut it so finely?
Because it's going to go onto the burrito, and we don't want big chunks falling out, and also even flavours. And it also looks really pretty. Yeah, so it's nice and visually appealing.
So salsa, when we buy salsa in the shop, this is not really what it looks like. It's often in a jar and it's really runny. It's like a bit like tomato sauce. So how come this is called salsa, but salsa like Dorito salsa, they're the same name? Are they kind of the same thing?
Yeah, well, salsa just means sauce in Spanish. So it's an accompaniment. So, you know, it can be either or. You can have a runny salsa because you can have a runny sauce, and you can also have a chunky sauce.
Okay, cool. So with cooking the chicken, what are you going to be, so that's what you're doing next. What are you going to be looking for?
I'm going to look for my chicken to be a little bit brown on the outside. So I want it caramelized a little bit. I want it to start going white. And I'm going to move it around a little bit, but not too much.
Because cooked chicken is white chicken, right?
Yeah.
Raw chicken's pink and cooked chicken's white.
Exactly.
So it's good to know the difference.
Definitely.
And just looking at our recipe, I can see that most of the steps start with an action verb. So why do recipes start like that? Okay, so
a verb is a doing word, and that means that it's telling us what to do. So straight away we've got, and it also we often have an adjective at the front or an adverb. So we'll have finely slice. We'll have heat, which is a verb. We'll have slice, we'll have fill, we'll have assemble. So all of those things straight away tell us what we need to do.
Okay, and I guess having those words at the start make it easy to know what you're doing. It keeps it really straightforward.
Right.
Nice. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you. Would you mind focusing on my fry pan, please? All right, now, when you put your chicken into the fry pan, now I hope you're going to be able to hear this. I'm not sure if you are, but what you want to hear is a sizzling sound. Okay? So that you don't put raw chicken, or raw anything for that matter, into a cold fry pan. Okay? So we want to start cooking our chicken here. Now remember, this is for one person, so everything's small. If you're doing this for your whole family, you can have much more. All right, so my chicken is cooked. Now, I'll hold that up for you guys. You can see it's nice and cooked, it's white, it's caramelized a little bit on the outside, so it's ready to go. Now I'm going to assemble. And assemble means putting it together, constructing it. All right, so you guys can use soft tacos, little ones if you'd like, or you can use a large burrito. Now burritos are a little bit harder because you've got to fold them and wrap them. So I will actually use 2 small tortillas here, flour tortillas, which you can just get from the supermarket. I think there's about 10 in a pack. Now when you go to open them, just be careful because they're often stuck together, so putting them in the microwave for 30 seconds before you do that helps you out. That one's broken, but I'll still use it today because I don't want to waste anything. Love food, hate waste. Okay, so here we go. So I've got it there. I'm going to present on a nice plate for you today. There we go. I'll put my 2 tortillas there. Now I'm going to put my lettuce on here. All right, so 1, 2. I'm going to put my chicken on. Here we go. There we are. Just evenly distribute it because you don't want one taco to have more and one have less. That's on there. Then I'm going to get my lovely salsa, my lovely fresh salsa, which is really nice and bright and flavoursome. Okay, I'm going to pop it on here. Now it looks like we're going to have a little bit left over here, but that's okay because if you're making this for your family, not just for you, you can use plenty on the other people's tacos or tortillas. And we also have 2 tablespoons of sour cream. We've got 2 tortillas, so what do you guys think? 1 on each. So I'm going to get my tablespoon. Remember, that's the big one. And I'm going to use my spoon here, pop it on there like that. My other one, like so. There we are. And you guys could add hot sauce to this if you like chili, coriander. You can add all sorts of nice accompaniments to this. So here we go. Here is our 2 tortillas with our tacos. And if it was a big burrito, you could actually wrap it all up.